go get her stuff out of your car. So I collected her formal shoes from the gala, some gym shoes in the back that I thought was hers, but they weren't. I'm like, sorry. They were the dude who's been watching my cat when I was in Atlanta, because I just came from Atlanta before I came to LA. So they were his shoes. I didn't know whose shoes they were. I just collected the shit that wasn't mine. Her comb and a candle from Bigo. You know how they gave
How
us
the
those
fuck?
candles in
Yeah, they
little
did give us. How the fuck
bags?
did all this happen? Y'all was just finding the Airbnb.
Well, when she was like, she came in the kitchen. She was on live, and her supporter got up in the box and was like, I just sent you $100 to your CA so you and Yetta can get an Uber for tonight, and y'all have a good time. Blah blah blah. So then the next person who came up in the box had a like thick ass accent. They were like, "Don't you share that with Yetta? She does not deserve any of it. Pumpkin, you go have a good time." And I said, "Hold on, I drove my car down here. I've been driving this whole time. Why shouldn't she share it with me?" And Pumpkin was like, "Wait, I gave you gas money." And I was like, "So?" So, and she gave me $40. Like, what do you do? I mean, like, I feel like that was enough. I wasn't gonna trip off of it, but I've been driving you around this whole time. What do you mean you shouldn't share it with me? And then she asked me about it again, and I said, yeah, that's how I feel. Like, you should drive. Like, yeah, she was asking, like, why should I drive you around while you want to get drunk? I was like, because I've been driving you around. Like, what's the difference? And I feel like most friends would be like, okay, girl, you trying to turn up. I don't drink. I got you. I don't
Okay.
understand what
Well,
what the
I
real
can understand.
problem was.
I can understand that reasoning.
Right. And it's like, I'm putting wear and tear on my car so we can have the convenience of having one. And everybody's like, why y'all ain't just Uber to the barbecue? Because when she woke up, I asked her, do you want to go to Guitar God's barbecue? She said yes. And they talking about why you ain't just call Uber. He lived 46 minutes away. That would be like $100 Uber both ways. Like, no. Well, that was the whole point why I brought my car, so that we could have a car. And Pumpkin even said before we came, and then I can help you drive. That's what she said. So
Oh,
it's like, damn, I'm sorry for expecting you to drive when you don't drink. Like, what is wrong with that?
okay.
And it's like, it's crazy because she's talking about some driving Miss Daisy and stuff. Like, well, I'm not driving Miss Daisy. So I'm driving Miss Daisy? Why you can't be Miss Daisy? You the Miss Daisy. What, because I'm light skinned, I got to be Miss Daisy? Why I got to be like that?
Okay. Well, I mean that makes. I mean that actually would make sense if coming from that perspective. Well, I'd have to hear Pumpkin side, obviously, but that would make sense if she doesn't drive. I mean, she doesn't drink, and then she said she's willing to drive, and you already driving. Yeah. So how the fuck did it escalate to y'all getting kicked out? Weren't y'all just arguing? How do y'all?
Well, after she said, you know what, I'm done talking to you, Yetta. I'm going to my room and I just want to do my own thing tonight. I was like, okay. And she went in her room and was yelling and screaming and dragging me. And it's just weird to me. So I went live and I talked about it. And I was like, I don't see where I'm wrong in this situation to expect her to drive when she don't drink. Like, I don't see what's so hard about that. But, of course, Yetta's always the devil. And here I am playing the victim again. Anyways, I went down and got her stuff out of my car and put it in front of the door where she had closed the door. And when she opened it, she's kicking the shoes and the candle out of the way, like the candle from Bigo, that souvenir bag that they gave us.
Yeah.
Um, she had left that in the back seat, so I put that on the floor next to her dress, them gym shoes, and her comb. And she kicked that shit so hard it hit the coffee table, and glass was broken all over the floor. And that's when I left the apartment. Oh, at first I went to her room and I was like, so you just breaking shit now? And I'm knocking on the door and she started screaming and I tried to open the door and she was right against it. She pushed against me and I just let her close it and walked out. I know, like, I can't be in trouble. I'm not trying to get in
So
trouble,
so it
bro.
wasn't a storyline. Like that whole thing actually did happen between y'all.
Yes, that shit happened. And then I went out to the balcony and called him. And he said he was coming. And when he got there, he was like, y'all both got to just go, man. Like, I'm not about to have all this shit happen. Because he said he's had it before. It happened before where somebody got into like a physical altercation and the neighbors called the police. And then he had to kick him out and all of that too. So like, I mean, what would have happened? He was like, what would happen if you come home late tonight? If you just leave the situation and then it escalates again? What if she's still awake when you come home? What if it gets more, and this shit was in my name. Of course, I'm the one that booked the Airbnb. So no, the coffee table's not broken. She broke the candle. And she was like, these ain't my shoes. This is not my candle. Why she put all this shit in front of my door? And I'm like, what is the problem? Like, I clearly thought it was hers. What did I do so wrong, bruh? Like, I don't understand why she blew this whole thing out of proportion like that. But this is not the first time that Pumpkin has gotten mad at me for no reason.
Well, y'all were. there's nothing that could have happened to like prevent it from going that far to where y'all didn't have to get kicked out at the late night and book a whole flight in an Airbnb somewhere else. Like there's nothing. Do you think that instead of calling him, I'm not placing this on you, I'm just asking. Do you think that instead of calling him, you could have just said, "Well, let me remove myself from the situation from my probation, and so we don't have to go somewhere else and just let it calm down and de-escalate because this bitch
Well,
is."
because this is why. She was like so outrageously mad at me that even if I did leave and go stay the night somewhere else, which I definitely could have, what if she decided she was like, fuck this bitch, I'm gonna break shit in here so that she's gonna have to pay for it.
I mean,
It was in my name, so
that is
I felt
possible.
like I shouldn't leave the premises and have you be there without me. Like, nah, it's a liability. Yes.
Okay, okay, I could see that. I could see that. Mm, mm.
You disrespected her first? Beautiful. How? Like, I mean, if y'all want to make it make sense to me, please do.
I know. I could understand. I mean, I haven't heard Pumpkin's side, but I could understand where your reasoning would have come from. I just feel like there was, if it was getting physical, like, I mean, how did it just get physical like that? I mean, I got to hear from Pumpkin too because if
Because she said I kept trying to come into her room. Like, I
what
had
were
came in there
you?
twice. I did it twice. That was the second time. But she just kicked that candle across the floor and the glass broke everywhere. And I'm like, wow, you just gonna be breaking shit? And she just want to keep the door closed and be on her live and not talk to me. And that's what happened the first time when I went in there. I was like, so do I have to? I was like standing at the doorway in her room. She, get out of my room. Get out of my room. I was like, do I have to get in your comments to talk to you?
But you know what? But you know what? You know what? But at the same time, Yetta, and I'm gonna say this to you: when people are that irate and people are that fucking, this goes for anybody. When people are that irate and that crazy, that's not the best time to try to even rationalize a reason with them. And I get what you're saying, and I get your reasoning as to why you might have done something like that. But it
Mm-hmm.
actually goes and makes it look more antagonistic, even if you're reasonable and in your level headed in your mind. Because when someone's that irate, anyone, you should not try to, and especially because you know how the people do on social media, going back on social media yourself or let them do whatever they do, blah blah blah. But that's not a good time to talk to them because then when people are, it's like talking to a homeless person who got schizophrenia, trying to reason with them about some shit, knowing that they're motherfucking crazy. Let them calm down and kind of de-escalate. And I get what you're saying why you didn't leave the house. I get what you're saying why whatever, blah blah blah. That makes sense. But all I'm saying is, for you, I've seen a history of when motherfuckers are on 10 and you're trying to reason or rationalize with them, then it comes off as antagonistic because even if you're trying to motherfucking converse, it's like there's a time and place where I'm gonna know if a bitch is going crazy. I'm just gonna be like, you know what, bitch, let me just remove myself because I already know that they're not trying to hear it. So I'm just gonna go outside and smoke a black and mild, let it chill for a little bit, and I'm gonna come back in when they have some fucking sanity.